My name is Juan Pablo Rud. I'm a professor of economics at Royal Holloway University of London. In this video, I will be discussing a phenomenon that is often overlooked when analyzing the decarbonization of the economy. What happens to those miners that lose their jobs when coal mines close? The experience of the UK in the 1980s and 90s provides a cautionary tale of the implications of phasing out coal without accounting for the welfare of mining workers. Phasing out coal is essential for reducing emissions and addressing the causes of climate change, but it comes at a high cost for those working in the coal industry. Our new research investigates the long-term fortune of coal miners after the virtual termination of the industry from the 1980s in the UK. Coal played a key role fueling UK's industrialization process and was an important source of well-paid manual jobs. By the early 1990s, however, the industry had experienced a long, albeit gradual, decline and was reliant on government subsidies. In 1985, after a year-long strike, the government accelerated the closure of mines. The dissolution of the industry was comprehensive and fast. In just 2 years, 1985 to 1986, one-third of coal mines closed, predominantly in the north of England. By the early 2000s, only a handful of mines remained. The closure of mines was mirrored by a massive displacement of coal miners. Between 1980 and 1994, more than 200,000 miners lost their jobs. This amount represented a reduction of approximately 90% of the industry's workforce. Within the first year of losing their jobs, displaced miners saw their earnings drop by 80 to 90% compared to similar blue-collar workers. Even those who found new jobs quickly faced a 40% wage cut. These devastating effects continued in the longer term. 15 years after displacement, miners' earnings never fully recovered. Displaced miners would have 20 to 30% lower earnings on average than similar workers. Total losses during this period add up to between 4 and 6 years of pre-displacement income losses. Most miners were men, and many of them stopped working after losing their jobs. Strangely, the same pattern of lower participation in labor markets seems to have happened for women workers as well. This is because when the mass closures of mines occurred, it led to an increased availability of male workers that started competing for jobs with women. Consequently, women were also facing challenges in labor markets. For example, in mining districts, the share of women in manufacturing occupations decreased significantly. Today, eliminating coal is on many environmental policy agendas because it may help to achieve the objective of limiting global warming to 2 degrees. However, to do this, approximately 2,300 active coal mines worldwide must close, leading to the displacement of over 5 million coal miners. Furthermore, the closure of mines does not just affect the workers, but entire communities. Some businesses are dependent on miners for commerce, like local shops and services, so if these businesses close, there may be additional unemployment and population decline. To ensure a just energy transition, policymakers must learn from past mistakes. In these remote locations, the capacity of the local labor markets to absorb the displaced miners may be limited. Effective policies could include retraining programs, support for small businesses, and investments in infrastructure. The shift away from coal is necessary for our planet, but it must be managed carefully to minimize the social and economic costs to communities that depend on coal mining.